All right, guys, so today we're going to take some notes over what's called literal equations. Literal equation is an equation that contains two or more variables. Here are steps we're going to use. You might want to pause this right now and write down these steps. Maybe down here you can maybe write them across or stack them. You should have room to write them, like starting maybe right here. All right, so let's get it with it. We're not going to go over the steps right now. We'll actually just refer to them as we're going through. So this equation, it says solve the equation for the indicated variable, telling us to solve for b, which you'll notice is there are no numbers in here. So all we're trying to do is get b by itself. Let's follow these directions. Draw a box around the variable we are solving for. So we're solving for b. Then complete the do and undo chart. So I don't know if you've seen one of these before. You might have. How you do this is you start with anything that's touching the box. Well, B's inside of it, H is touching it. So we're going to put H right there in the do column. What's going on between the B and the H? There is multiplication. And now we need to undo. Well, if multiplication of H is what's happening, to undo it, we're going to divide by H. So this is about the only time in our high school math career that we're going to actually write the dot for multiplication and the division sign. Okay, so now there's nothing left on that side of the equal sign. So we're finished, well, we're pretty much finished with our do undo chart. The only thing else we're going to write is B equals whatever's on the other side. So we wrote what we were solving for, and B equals whatever's on the other side. All right, so now to write this, we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. Well, this one's only going to take us one step, but we need to write B equals A. You can probably put that on both sides. And then we need to do whatever it tells us to do right here, which is divide by H. And we are finished. Okay, let's look at number two. Number two is telling us to solve for B. So we're going to put our box around it, complete the do and undo chart. We're always going to start with something that's touching the box if it's there. Well, in this case, there's nothing touching the box. The only thing we have over here is a positive mx. So we're going to write a positive mx. To undo that would be subtract mx. We've used everything on that side. So now we're going to write what we're solving for and what's on the other side. Again, to write this out, we're going to start at the bottom. We're going to write B equals Y minus MX. And we're finished with that one. These are a little tricky, but after doing a few, I think you're going to be okay. So on this one, we're going to solve for X. Draw a box around the variable. Complete the do undo chart. Remember, next we're going to start with something touching the box, and there's a 2 right there. Well, remember, a number next to a letter means multiplication. To undo multiplying by 2 is divide by 2. So we're finished with the 2. So now we need to deal with this plus 4y. Well, if it's plus 4y is what we're doing, to undo it, we're going to subtract 4y. So we're finished with that. And now remember, all you're doing on the bottom is you're going to write x equals, we're going to write what we're solving for and what's on the other side. So now when we go to write this, we're going to start right here. We're going to write x equals 10. We need to subtract that by 4y minus 4y, and then we need to divide by 2. So there's that. All right, let's do number 4. Number 4 looks a lot like number 2, but we're solving for a different letter. So on this one, we're solving for M. Put a box around it. Do your do undo chart. Start with what's touching the M, and in this case there's an X, and there's really multiplication of X. To undo that, we would divide by x. Finish with the x. What else is over here? We've got a plus b. To undo that, we would subtract b. Now we're finished with the b. So now we're going to write what we're solving for and what's on the other side. So again, it's what we're solving for, so it's always going to be that letter, equal to whatever's on the other side, which in this case is y. So again, we start at the bottom. We're going to write m equals y minus b divided by x. So not too bad. Like I said, it's a little confusing at first because we don't see a lot of numbers. So now we see one on number 5 where we actually have numbers. We're going to start off doing the same thing. Draw a box around what we're solving for, which is w. We're going to do a do-undo chart. We're going to start with whatever's touching the box, which in this case is 2. So there's really multiplication. To undo times 2, we're going to divide by 2. Finish with the 2. I like crossing them out as we use them. Next, I've got a positive 2L. Inverse of that, or the undo that, is minus 2L. Last step, we're going to write what we're solving for, which is w, and what's on the other side. Again, start at the bottom when you write it out. It's going to be w equals p. What's up top, or what's above it, is minus 2L, and then divide by 2. All right, this one's a little different, but use your steps. Start with step 1. Draw a box around the variable we are solving for. We're solving for a. So we can all do that. We just earned a point. If this was a test, you just earned some points by putting a box around a, which is the first step. We just created a do-undo chart, at least started one. You just got more points. Remember, start with whatever's touching the a. Well, in this case, it doesn't look like it's touching it, but it is, and we are dividing by 2. Multiply by 2 is the opposite, or the undo. Finish with the 2. We've got a minus 1. Undo would be plus 1. Write what we're solving for, equals whatever's on the other side. Start at the bottom. A equals b. We need to add 1. Multiply by 2. So this one's a little different. We need to multiply this whole thing by 2 times 2. So I would rewrite that because all it is means we got to distribute that 2. We're not going to. So I would probably write it like that right there. Remember, I can multiply things in different order and come up with the same number. So these two answers are both right. This is probably how you would see it on a multiple choice test. All right, this one we're solving for x. Put your box around x. Do-undo chart. Start with what's touching the x. In this case, it is a -5, but what's going on, we're multiplying by -5. So undo that, we need to divide by -5. Finish with the -5. We've got a plus y. To undo that, I need a minus y. Finish with that. Used everything up with the variables, so now I need x equals, that's what I'm solving for, -56. X equals -56. Start at the bottom. We need to write x equals -56. We need to subtract y. And then we need to divide by -5. And I will take that as an answer. Later on, we'll learn what to do with these negatives, but you don't have to worry about that right now. I will take that as an answer. Number 8. So this will be the last one I do in this video. I'll have to do another video for the backside. If we even do it, I've not decided yet. All right, so on this one, we're going to solve for b. If you'll notice, tell you what, we're not going to do number 8. We'll do one like this in class, but there's lots of stuff I want to describe about number 8. So let's not do number 8 on notes. And if that's the case, let's see how many we have on the next page. I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good. So here are your notes. You don't have to worry about the second page. just get these notes taken care of, and remember, don't do number 8. And then the back side of your notes you don't have to worry about. We might do these in class, but there's nothing on the back that's gonna be different than kind of what we did on the front. And these are what we're gonna be tested and quizzed over anyway, so we're good there.